snap.
Mic check, mic check.
We came back.
Mic check, mic check.
Say it with me.
Mic check, mic check.
Now set it free.
All right, y'all. What is going on? Let me see. Make sure I can get some feedback here. Hopefully, a little louder this episode. Hopefully. So what's going on? Episode 5, Season 3, DannieBSpeaks, the podcast. And you see, I wanted to come and have, a quick. Well, it probably won't be quick because I have quite a few topics. If it starts going too long, then I'll break it up into two like I did the last time. Hope you all have been enjoying the visual podcast. Pretty soon we will be going live, just trying to work some things out behind the scenes. A couple people have contacted me about wanting to go live with me, so that'll be fun. We'll get all that together eventually. Let's see. Make sure we got all that. Am I? Yeah. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. Okay. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try to incorporate some media, so some videos and some pictures, pics, whatever, when I'm describing these stories, just to give it a little bit more. And a lot of this is just testing. I'm just trying to, work out different ways to incorporate new things into the show. So let's go on and get on into it. Hope everybody is doing well. So let's see here. Let's get up the first story. Let's just talk about this one real quick. And I'm gonna make myself bigger for. So anyway, Boosie, Boosie, Boosie. So when you're worried about the wrong things and you're not too bright as is, it's easy for you to get scammed, regardless of how much of a, you know, street smart you are, whatever. There's always going to be people that are smarter than you. And this is one of those instances where Boosie, who basically he got scammed. So he paid $600,000 to basically get a Trump pardon, and so he jumped on the Trump train and all this stuff, and of course, y'all niggas still supporting him, whatever. Boosie this, Boosie that. He's real. He's an idiot, and this proves it right here. But these two right here. I don't know which one is which. It doesn't matter. But their names are Jacob Wall and Jack Barkman. And these two are con artists themselves. They were convicted of robocalling black voters during the election, and among other things that they have been accused of. So they're very nice people to do business with. So he's suing for $300,000. So he wants at least half back. And this is he's trying to get the pardon for his federal gun case that he has. So now he's trying to get his money back. But a lot of people are saying that this may end up causing more issues for him on a federal level. And not only him, but the other ones involved as well. I don't know if Trump said anything about it or whatever. If he was asked, I'm sure he's been asked because it's drama. But Laura Loomer, aka Jigsaw, has come out and basically said, "Bitch, I don't know you." She wasn't aware of any of this, and I do believe her. I do believe that no one knew about any of this, and that he was just played. So there you go. So Boosie, I don't know what to tell you, but you got played. Instead of worrying about, the trans girls out here and who's gay and who's not, whatever. That seems to be your main focus, and most of us know why. Um, but this is just you need to worry about your own shit, and you try to get a quick and easy way out, drop a pretty penny, drop some nice coins down, and you got played. So, and now you may be causing bigger issues for yourself. So, there's that. So, that's the story about Boosie. Let's talk about another clout chaser here. Um, hmm, where do I even begin? Dame Dash. So, for everybody who knows the history, of course, by now, Dame and Jay Z created Rockefeller together. Dame was like the business side of it. Jay Z, of course, was the front man, but he also did a lot of the business. Um, and then Dame started being all in the videos and all that stuff. So it just Dame became a name within itself. Years go by, they break apart. Um, Rockefeller's no more. Now it's Rock Nation. So Dame's been struggling. His businesses haven't been businessing. If that we know that's not a word, but it is today. And he's just been hating. He has been completely hating on Jay Z and anyone who is associated with Jay Z since their split. And this one, I mean, really took the cake. And I'm not even going to play the video because you could tell that it was a video, but I just snapped a screenshot of it because it was just so ridiculous. Jay Z had his 30th anniversary concert at New York, at Yankee Stadium in New York, of course, last weekend. And it was huge. Of course, I wasn't there, but saw a lot of the videos. And the opening was a video. He brought a lot of people out, like, I mean, it was his big 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt, his debut album. So that was huge. Um, the intro to him about to come out, which a lot of us called it, that he was going to cut his hair. The first thing was that he cut the dreads off, or whatever that was. He cut those off. Was that like few weeks ago? And he just had his afro. He just had a loose afro out. But a lot of people were like, and myself included, Keisha, we said it on Girl You Know What podcast, but that Caesar was coming next. So Beyonce is seen at the intro in Yankee Stadium in the bleachers cutting his hair. So that was a problem for Dame. Um, we saw a video a few weeks ago of as what like when Jay came out with the afro, he released a video of his hair journey, and it was a nice story as to why he grew his hair out and everything. It was because people were making fun of Blue and their daughter Blue Ivy, their oldest daughter, and he just wanted, he was like, we have the same hair, and I just want to show you, how beautiful your hair really is. That was pretty much why he started growing his hair out. I did hear, I don't know how true it is, but I did hear that he said he was going to cut his hair because his kids were wanting him to cut his hair. And he said that when he releases an album, he'll cut his hair. So, needless to say, if that is true, he cut his hair. Well, Beyonce cut his hair. So he will be releasing an album if that rumor was true. So, Dame had a problem with Beyonce cutting his hair and, asking, you see here in the caption, why is it that he keeps flexing his girl? Like, we know that's your girl. First of all, it's not his girl, it's his wife. Okay, regardless if you like Jay-Z or Beyonce, they are married, and they've been married for quite a few years. 3 children together, and yeah, it's just like he just always has something to say, and it just always comes out so wrong, and it is just like he's just so deep in his disdain and his hate for Jay Z that now you're bringing his wife into it. You mad that she took a video, that they played a video, which means something is significant, you know, because everybody knows Jay Z has always been clean cut. It's just over these past few years where he had his Basquiat hairstyle. Um, that threw a lot of us off, but it is what it is. People change, whatever. But Dame, it's just like, just let it go. Let it go. Whatever y'all got going on. I mean, Jay isn't paying you any attention. And one sided beefs are funny to me because, it's like, who are you beefing with? You're not beefing with me. You're just talking shit. And it may be about me, but if someone else isn't, but if I'm not saying nothing back, you just end up looking stupid. You may think you're looking tough because the other person isn't saying anything and may look like that they're scared or whatever. But, you know, Dame is just so corny. He doesn't even realize how stupid he looks. And he's just so far gone. It's, I don't know, but I thought that was just ridiculous how he, is still have it's weird. It's weird to me, especially now. I'm not a man, but especially it seems like when men do it, it just has a deeper significance. Like you would think your ego wouldn't let you just be so involved in another man's personal life because it gets real personal. And the thing about it is Jay really has never said anything about why they split. Jay, him and Beyonce, they don't they're a lot alike in that way. They don't do interviews. If they do, it's with certain people, and it's very short. You're not going to get an in-depth interview. I'm pretty sure that their publicists and whoever, have a list of questions that you are not going to ask. Um, and if you do, interview is over. But Jay really has never got in depth about what happened between them. I believe Dame has, but that's his side. You know, the meaning the saying is true. There are 3 sides to a story, sometimes 4. That there are 3 sides to a story. And we don't know. We don't know the truth, and we may never know the truth of what happened between them. But it's obviously something very deep, and I think it's deeper than the money. But we know it's a huge part about the money, and especially now that Jay Z has more money now than he did when he was doing Rockefeller with Dame. So it's just weird, but Dame really needs to grow up. It's it's pathetic. Just look at him. Let's just take a look at him. Just look at him. I mean, and then look up here. Not a care in the world between these two. And then look at this. This is when he's just like in the midst of telling, talking shit about nothing. Like, get out of here. So let's talk about America's favorite mayor, maybe for some of us. But Mom Donnie, listen, New York New York City Mayor Mom Donnie he's really showing what politics should be. And that is possible if you put the people first instead of your own interest and money. If you put the people first, you can get shit done. If you pretty much everything he campaigned on in this short period of time, he has delivered on. And he still has a while to go, a ways to go, I should say, and a while to go, in his term. But what he has done so far is no less than amazing. And this is just one thing and another thing that's right here. But there's another, and just in case you're just listening to it, it says Mondani invests 67 million to expand pre-K for children with autism and developmental delays. Then he also had something where, uh, regarding children as well, where it was that I think it's like every kid going into kindergarten gets $1,000 towards their and I didn't really read the stipulations of it. Like I don't know if you have to start kindergarten and go all the way to graduating high school to get this money. I don't know if the money grows or whatever. It was just an article that I just came across real quick. I didn't read all of it. I just saw the beginning part. But it's something that's been going around too. And could you imagine? I mean, he's put a cap on the rent, which a lot of people didn't know could even be done, especially in a city like New York City. Um, there's just been so many things that he has done. And the people who are critics of him, all the ones that were saying, oh, the rich people are going to leave New York because this socialist is coming. Well, socialism isn't that bad, is it? It's not that bad. If this shit can get done, it's not that bad. But I just wanted to, spotlight him real quick because what he is doing, because he's, like I said, he still has some time to do a lot more. But just in this short period of time, what he has done is nothing short of amazing. And I really think that he needs to be commended for that. But of course, the people who were against him and, saying he was too liberal and he's a socialist and all this other stuff. Nothing wrong with socialism if it comes down to this. I'm just saying. But like I mentioned, what he's doing proves that politicians can get shit done and can do stuff if they're there for the right reasons. And he is showing that, plain and simple. So before we get to more bullshit, there is kind of a sad story that I want to talk about real quick. So this young man right here, and let me I can't I don't know how to if I can bring up both, probably not. But this young man right here, this is his mother who sadly passed away at the age of 55. Sarah Matalay. I I don't want to disrespect by um, pronouncing last name wrong, so we'll just say Miss Sarah. But she passed away. Her son. Let me bring up the article. Her son is and I'll just keep it like this for now. Western Kentucky football player Victory Vaca reveals the school canceled his scholarship for grieving over the death of his mother. Victory's mother, Sarah, passed on April at age 55 due to a heart aneurysm. Vaca said that the strength coach told him he was expected back in June, but on May 26, his position coach contacted him and asked where he was. WKU reportedly removed on from him the following day and classified his departure as a failure to report. That designation has prevented Vaca from using the normal scholarship cancellation exception. I promise I can read y'all to enter the transfer portal, and the NCAA has denied his request for relief. Vaca acknowledged that communication could have been better, but called the situation inhumane, and I agree. Now, you could look at this two different ways. Um, we can look at this two different ways, and let me bring this picture back up of this young man and his mother, who, like I said, sadly passed away, said of a heart aneurysm. So I think that this should have been an exception when it came to the first of all, with the school. Now, this just goes to show and prove that a lot of these schools, majority of all of them, it's a business. It's a business, and that's why a lot of these players need to be paid. Um, so one coach, it was definitely a failure in communication on all parts, and he even acknowledged that. Now, some people may look at it as he had enough time to grieve. First of all, you can't tell people when to grieve. Yes, he had business and affairs that he had to take care of, mainly this. But if the school knew that his mother tragically passed away and it was a heart aneurysm, so that's something sudden, that's mainly like a heart attack, just something sudden, then, and him being so young, her being so young, she was only 55. Um, if they wanted to let him go from the school, okay. If they wanted to remove his scholarship, okay. But the NCAA could have stepped in, looked at the circumstances, and understood why there may have been a failure of communication, why that may not have been something that was on his mind, regardless if it is something that is for his future and what he's obviously playing on the NCAA level that he has worked hard at. But you can't tell people how they're going to feel losing anyone in their life, especially a parent and especially your mother. So I think that this should be fought because basically they're saying that he's not going to be able to transfer, like he can't get into the transfer portal. Um, Now, I don't know how that works, but I'm sure he can go play somewhere else. He'd probably have to go as a walk on, but for him to transfer his scholarship, I think that's what they're talking about. But he can probably go somewhere else and walk on when he's ready. Um, but he had two different coaches telling him two different things. And at some point, as a team, we're always talking about teamwork and team effort, and we're building as a team and all this stuff. How come there was no communication between the coaches? Or were they just saying what they thought should have been said at the moment? And then when it came down to it, they were probably getting some pressure saying, okay, he needs to get back. We have other players that can come in here and get the scholarship. And that's what happened. Somebody else got his scholarship. So I think the NCAA should relook at the situation. They probably don't. Never mind. They don't give a shit. Never mind. So let's move on. But, rest in peace to this lady and pray for this young man, not only for just the loss of his mother, but for his future. Um, and, where he may end up. Um, hopefully he could still get his education somewhere and get that, if he still wants to play football, then, hopefully he can also get it, you know, be able to play football while obtaining his education. So, but let's move on to the final story that I have for today. And let's discuss Caitlin Clark. Now, I talked about Caitlin a couple episodes back where, she's ruining the WNBA. Let's just talk about it. She's ruining the league. She's supposed to be the quote unquote poster child for the league, and she is doing everything to help tarnish the league. And it could just be one person that could fuck up everything, and she's that one person. Now, for her recent antics, yelling at referees, getting in their face, I hear that she may be possibly facing some disciplinary actions for getting up in the ref's face recently. Her gestures at them are just um, out of control. And I think she's lost her mind. I truly think that her mental health is gone. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if she's always been like this. Now, I know she's always been a flopper and a crybaby. We all know that. But this shit is just out of control. And then now, as I mentioned before, she has, I think it's like 13 or 14, whatever, maybe less than that, but it's enough. Republican Congress people who probably never even watched a WNBA game, who don't give a shit about the WNBA, but they have basically put fear into the league that if anything happens to her, then there's going to be hell to pay. It doesn't make any sense to me that this is being allowed. All the shit we got going on in this country, and y'all are focused on this shit. And Caitlin's not helping. She's feeding right into it. Every time she flops, and it looks like one of these players, especially a black player, let's keep it real. Every time, they don't even touch her, and she falls out. And even when they probably don't even watch the videos, they probably just hear about it, or they just see her on the ground. They see her get up and start bitching, um, pouting in interviews. She'll just sit there and she'll just be pouting. And I'm just like, really? And she is, she's the epitome of white woman tears, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And it's sad that she's ruining this league after it has finally again got a resurgence. And she's getting more publicity for her antics than for her play. And that's what it's supposed to be about. Just like this video compilation I'm going to show you that I put together of a few different videos of just her in action. The last one on the video is the one that really took the cake and really got everybody just like, really, okay, this is enough. And it's to the point now where there are people who are out here making fun of her, even white people. They're just like, it's just so ridiculous. Um, and I think that she is feeding into the support that she's getting. Now, she has never come out and said that she is, okay with this support that she's getting, but she hasn't, shunned it. She hasn't, said that she doesn't want that support. And I think that if she really felt that way, she would have said it. Um, I mean, she had Dana White, who I've never seen. Is that his name? Yeah, Dana White, who I have never seen at a WNBA game, never heard him talk about the WNBA. He comes up and gives Caitlin a hug. And the same night that she's doing all these crazy antics, yelling at refs and everything, there were all these stories about her. Not for her scoring, not for her gameplay. I don't even know if the Fever won, but they were sure enough talking about all that stuff when Asia won at ESPY that night. And not only that, you have Paige out here killing it. And like a lot of people have said, Paige is who they wanted Caitlyn to be. That's it. And what about y'all are so worried about protecting this white woman because you feel like she's getting bullied and she's going to get hurt out here and everything when she's causing all the shit. She's sitting there falling down on her own. That could cause more harm, than anything else. And the crazy thing is she will stop the play in the middle to fake an injury. And then two plays, then like you go up and down the court once, twice, and then she's not limping anymore because it was fake. That's why I think something is really mentally wrong with her because it's so obvious. And a lot of players flop. I think flopping is bullshit. I think it's ridiculous. Um, I've never liked it. I don't care what level it's on. I don't care who's playing the NBA, the WNBA, women's basketball, college women's basketball, college men's basketball, whatever. I think flopping is bullshit. Now, they really don't tolerate it in college. I will say that. College still has some pretty strict rules when it comes to certain things. But the NBA and the WNBA, I mean, it's out of control. And she is hurting the league with all this bullshit. So let's take a look at this. And these are just a few things. Now, I knew that she was a little off the chain in college, but I didn't realize that she was flopping as much as she was in college. And now it's just out of control. I mean, every time she goes to the hole or whatever, or she's guarding someone down there, she ends up hurt, but she's not. It's just crazy. So let's just take a look at this real quick.
I like to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. Like, it's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Did they give you an explanation right after when you?
She said I initiated the contact, which is fine. You can't knee me in the leg, knock me over.
In the corner. Clark couldn't even make a move to try to keep Burton off that rebound, and Clark is very upset. Gerda Gatling is giving Caitlin Clark a very long leash on the way she's reacted, and sometimes you just got to let the player voice their opinion.
I'm really upset about this last drive, and you see Veronica Burton on her, and then she goes into Kia Stokes and falls down. A little bit, maybe a little bit of contact, but you see when
It's in the corner.
I'm a flop like a fish. I'm a flop like a fish. Flop on this. Go ahead and flop on this.
Now, this is the one right here.
That's another foul on Clark. Her second.
Can I rewind that back a little bit? Where is it at? This is the one that really got everybody going. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. This play right here. This is the one that really sealed the deal for a lot of people.
That's another foul on
And the
Clark.
thing was, look at this shit again. And I know people have seen it over and over again, but there was absolutely no contact. She got kneed.
That's another foul on Clark. Her second. Something didn't feel right there.
And they reviewed it.
Gets Chelsea Gray. Watch here at the end. Gets around the forearm, which is where I believe the foul was called.
I mean, it's so, oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy to the point where what she's doing, it's crazy. Something is terribly wrong with her. Like, seriously. And for her to come at in the ref's face like that and everything, when she initiated the contact, the girl didn't even touch her. She initiated the contact. But that very first clip where she's sitting in the press conference and she's pouting and talking about how the ref can't miss calls like that and just shaking her head like she's just so distraught and disappointed, playing the role. And that's what gets her fan base riled up. That's what they see. And I can't even say she has a fan base. She has followers. She has followers that are here for the bullshit. They're here for the shits altogether. And they want to cause confusion and disruption. And they're going to use her to do it. It's one person can fuck everything up. It's possible. One person can fuck everything up. I just don't know how much longer they're going to let her get away with this shit. And those were just a few clips that I just, put together real quick. But there's a ton. It's a ton. And I tried to do the little compilation of the different ones. And some of them were even when she was at Iowa, when she was in college, doing that same shit. And it's just like you can't even look at her and she'll flop. There was one video I saw, but it was too much commentary in it from somebody else. And I didn't want to, put them, on here because you never know how people really feel about that. But there was one video where she was at Iowa and nobody was around her. Like the other team scored. It may have been Ohio State. But there was no one around her, and she just fell to her knees. Like after they scored, somebody passed her the ball, and she just stops and just drops. And not only nothing's wrong with her, but she's fucking up the flow of the game. And as someone who played the sport for a long time, that is one of the worst things you could do is mess up the flow of the game, regardless if you're winning or losing. And she does that every time she pulls those stunts, because that's what it is. She's pulling stunts. And as I keep saying, all she's doing is riling up her followers and these, mainly black girls and refs are getting death threats. They're getting death threats over this. Now, someone already got, I think they were from the same place Caitlin's from, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. But they basically sent a death threat to a player, and she shared it with the league. And not only did she share it with the league, she shared it with social media. And, the girls were right on it. Everybody was right on it, found out where he was from, found his social media, found where he works, all of that. And he no longer has a job, but he'll get something else. But, it's just like, I mean, is it worth it? And for what? Because you don't care about Caitlyn. You just care about what you think that she stands for. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, and last thing I'm going to say about Caitlyn in this whole situation is she's not speaking out. So it's making it worse. It's like you support it. But because something is seriously wrong with her, I think that she likes this attention. She feels like somebody's on her side and somebody is agreeing with her antics. Like, see, it's okay. These people are, representatives in Congress. They think I'm, justified in, what I'm out here doing. It's crazy. But she is ruining the league. She truly is. And let's watch this one more time. I'm sorry. Let's watch it one more time. And I just want y'all to really pay attention from the beginning. The first one is the press conference. And it also shows the clip that she's talking about where she says that she got a contusion or something on her leg, never touched. And she's still pouting and talking about it in the interview. And the thing is, like, don't you know there are cameras? Don't you know that this is going to be replayed over and over again, but yet she still keeps doing the same thing? That's why I say there's something wrong. Because repeated behavior, especially wrong repeated behavior, is something's off when you just keep doing the wrong thing over and over again. And especially when because I think she's convinced herself that everything is good that she's doing. And it's mainly because she gets away with it and now she has support. So, but let's watch this one more time. And I just want you to pay attention to everything that is happening.
You take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset.
Yeah, I got
and
knee
not
right in
back.
the quad. Like, that hurts. Like, the ref can't miss that. And then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. Like, it's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Did they give you an explanation right after when you?
She said I initiated the contact, which is fine. You can't knee me in the leg, knock me over.
In the corner.
This is what Clay and
Clark couldn't even make a move to try to keep Burton off that rebound. And Clark
That's a
is
different game.
very upset.
Same game.
Gerda Gatling is giving Caitlin Clark a very long leash on the way she's reacted, and sometimes you just got to let the player voice their opinion.
I'm really upset about this last drive, and you see Veronica Burton on her, and then she goes in the Kia Stoke and falls down.
I would be tired of being her teammate, always having to pull her away from the refs and support her bullshit when she falls down. If I knew that you were, I wouldn't even acknowledge you. If I was your teammate, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do it. I would not do it.
Maybe a little bit of contact, but you see when
It's in the corner.
I'm a flop like a fish. I'm a flop like a fish. Flop on this. Go ahead and flop on this.
That's another foul on Clark. Her second. Something didn't feel right there.
And as I said earlier, they reviewed this. No contact.
Gets Chelsea Gray. Watch here at the end. Gets her on the
wasn't even
forearm, which
close
is where
to
I
it.
believe the foul was called.
My God. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. So hopefully everything turns out good with this episode. And, with me trying to incorporate media into it. If it looks good, it's going to take some practice for me to get used to doing all this back and forth stuff and everything. So, yeah, there's that. I was trying to think of something else I wanted to say about that, but that's all right. So, yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. DannieBSpeaks podcast, episode 5, season 3. And don't forget to follow me on my social medias at DannieBSpeaks. That's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as you could also put DannieBSpeaks in on YouTube, and my page will come up, of course. Trying to get those followers up, so please, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. So, and things are going to get better as time goes on. We'll get back into some health talk, some other topics. I think I have a pretty good next couple episodes coming up. One is definitely going to be about, health journey. And then the other one, I don't want to reveal what it's about yet, but it has to do with music. And I think that is going to be pretty good and interesting. It was something that I've been looking into for a while. But yeah, so everybody enjoy yourselves. There's no specific day that these episodes are going to be released on right now. Eventually they will be. I'm just trying to get some stuff out, trying to get back in the swing of things. So when I feel like recording or when I have time to record, I try to, get it in. And I don't want to sit on it too long, especially episodes like the current event stuff where you don't want these events to be, me posting something that happened here, talking about now, 2 weeks later. So I'm going to try to keep them going. The last one, episodes 3 and 4, I released on the same day. I think I did them like an hour apart or something. But they kind of went together. So that was why I did that. But yeah, thank you all again for tuning in. And I will catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all. Peace.